This is Radio Taiwan International. Welcome to the news on Radio Taiwan International. I'm Michelle Chang coming to you from Taipei, Taiwan. We begin with a look at today's top stories from Monday, January 19th. The Defense Ministry briefs lawmakers on a 1.25 trillion NT dollar arms procurement plan. The missing Indonesia air transport flight crash site has been found. And Canada courts China as U.S. trade pressures reshape strategy. But first, today's top story. The legislature's Foreign Affairs and National Defense Committee on Monday invited Defense Minister Wellington Koo to deliver a classified report and field questions on the 1.25 trillion NT dollar or $39.6 billion US dollar draft special act on procurement aimed at enhancing the nation's defense resilience and asymmetric capabilities. Amidst public interest beyond the $11.1 billion US dollar arms purchase disclosed on December 17th last year, Koo told reporters that details could not be released until the U.S. completes congressional notification, prompting today's classified briefing to lawmakers. Koo explained that past special ordinances typically required reports only after committee review, but that delays in submission necessitated this confidential briefing. He said proportions for arms purchases, commercial buys, and commissioned production await legislative budget approval. Rumors circulated that the KMT would propose its own ordinance version. Koo stressed that his ministry's draft aligns with current threats and operational needs, urging discussion on it. He said,
"We still hope that if the ruling and opposition parties have any opinions, they can be discussed within our version of the ordinance. If revisions are needed, they can be made within this ordinance as well, and there should be no need to propose their own version."
Committee convener and DPP legislator Wang Ting-yu said the budget concerns the safety of 23 million Taiwanese and signals resolve to allies. He defended the classified format as serving national interests through representative politics, not secrecy, dismissing black box criticisms from outsiders as a misunderstanding of legislators' closed-door meetings. The crash site of the Indonesia Air Transport or IAT passenger plane has been identified on Mount Belusarong near the city of Makassar, approximately 1,500 kilometers north of Jakarta. One body of the 11 on board was found on Sunday, January 18th, among aircraft debris. A search is currently underway for the 10 remaining passengers and crew. The flight, en route from Yogyakarta, Java to Makassar, Sulawesi, lost contact with air traffic control on Saturday in the South Sulawesi province. According to local media, the search and rescue team has involved upwards of 1,000 personnel, including members of the Air Force, police force, and volunteers. On Sunday, workers sighted additional bodies along a steep cliff, but due to poor weather conditions and harsh terrain, the recovery effort was delayed until Monday. Authorities have begun DNA sample collection from the passengers' families to assist in the identification process. The team also located wreckage believed to be the plane's engine, passenger seats, fuselage, tail, and windows. In a press release, IAT stated that the aircraft had previously had minor technical problems but was declared safe before its flight to Makassar. The cause of the crash is still under investigation. Canadian Prime Minister Mark Carney's China visit signals Ottawa's push to diversify trade amid U.S. tariff pressure.
Canadian Prime Minister Mark Carney has wrapped up a 4-day visit to China, the first by a Canadian leader since 2017. This trip is widely seen as a test of whether Ottawa is serious about reducing its reliance on the United States. From January 14 to 17, Carney met with China's top leadership, including President Xi Jinping, Premier Li Qiang, and National People's Congress Chairman Zhao Leji. Talks focused on trade, diplomacy, and regional issues as both sides look to stabilize a relationship strained for years. Carney traveled with a broad cabinet delegation covering foreign affairs, industry, agriculture, natural resources, and trade. Discussions centered on economic cooperation, especially energy and agriculture, against the backdrop of U.S. tariff policies that have put pressure on Canada-U.S. trade ties. Analysts say Canada is accelerating trading diversification as Washington pushes more unilateral economic measures. China, as the world's second-largest economy, has emerged as a key alternative market. Economic cooperation was the core issue. Markets watched closely for progress on energy exports and agricultural access. About 90% of Canada's oil currently goes to the U.S., leaving Ottawa exposed as American energy policies shift. Electric vehicle tariff and China's restrictions on Canadian canola were also on the agenda. but the visit sparked controversy at home. Human rights groups urged Carney to raise political prisoners' cases and broad rights concerns during the talks. Critics warned that economic engagement should not come at the expense of Canada's values. Political tensions also surfaced after two Liberal Party lawmakers cut short a trip to Taiwan ahead of Carney's China visit, fueling accusations of excessive caution towards Beijing. Despite signs of thawing ties, scholars cautioned that expectations remain limited. Canada's deep security dependence on the United States continues to constrain how far political and security cooperations with China can realistically go. Joey Chow for RTI News.
President Lai Ching-te spoke out in support of animal welfare at the 2026 Dogs and Cats Carnival hosted by the DPP at Rongxing Garden Park in Taipei on Sunday, January 18th. In his address, Lai stated that with the number of pet cats and dogs exceeding 3.4 million, more than the number of children under 14, the government must prioritize animal protection. He underscored that respect for animals reflects a civilized society. The president highlighted the Agriculture Ministry's establishment of the Animal Protection Division in 2023, responsible for collaborating with non-governmental organizations to promote animal welfare work. He also pointed out that the cabinet recently passed an amendment to the Animal Protection Act, raising the standards and responsibilities of pet owners, the penalties for abandonment, and strengthening the crackdown on illegal breeding, trafficking, and animal cruelty. The president said,
"These cats and dogs are also part of this earth. They have the opportunity to be born and live in our Taiwanese society. Everyone should love and cherish them, and those who would abuse them should be punished."
President Lai also promoted the Animal Companion Disaster Prevention and Evacuation Handbook, published by the Taiwan Veterinary Medical Association, detailing procedures for pets in case of emergency. The handbook, recently released on Friday, is currently available in Chinese at local veterinary clinics and via download. A Taiwanese black tea from Miali-based Formota won Best in Show at the Leafies, an international tea competition hosted by the UK Tea Academy, or UKTA, annually since 2022. Historic London grocer Fortnum & Mason, nearly 320 years old with his flagship at Piccadilly Circus, plans to launch the tea this spring. The Leafies promotes fine teas and tea culture, with past winners serving as an industry benchmark for food and beverage, hospitality, and retail. Tea buyer Audley Cunningham, a Leafy's judge, praised the winner after the awards ceremony on Friday, saying the leaves have a pleasing appearance and form, a brightly colored liquor, a distinct fruity aroma, and pleasant taste. Fortnum & Mason has long sold Taiwanese teas. Cunningham noted oolong's fame in Britain and rising awareness of black tea among connoisseurs. Speaking simple Mandarin in the interview, she said she plans a spring Taiwan trip to meet producers and farmers. Finding yourself blocked on the freeway by a temple roof going 20 kilometers per hour may sound like something out of a bizarro dream, but for drivers in Pingdong, it's a surprisingly explainable occurrence.
Imagine commuting home late at night, and in front of you, both lanes of traffic are taken up by a temple roof, also driving home. This is a conundrum that greeted several Pingdong drivers, viewed by many as not only a sanity test, but a question of ethics as well. Citizens seeing the footage asked whether it would be right to pass such a structure on the highway. What if the gods view your driving as disrespectful? While Taiwan has sometimes been called the island of temples, most Taiwanese still find encountering one driving alongside the freeway an oddity. However, for long-term residents of Pingdong, this event is easily explained. Just off the local Xinpi Bridge is a traditional artifact construction company, claiming itself to be the largest temple building factory in Asia. The group builds shrines, incense burners, statues, and more. Their modular approach means that parts of the temple can be built on site and then transported to their new homes to be put together, such as shown in the video. The temple roof pictured is 20 ping, approximately 6.6 meters in size, for the Ryukyu Shunto Temple in Shinju, worth 5 million NT dollars, or approximately 160,000 US dollars, and requiring a 2-day delivery. Taiwan isn't the only country to employ modular temple construction. Similar strategies are employed in Singapore, Malaysia, and even China, where prices also land in the millions. Nevertheless, the sight of a temple driving down the road at night is sure to wholly amaze any onlookers, regardless of affiliation. Amanda Stevens for RTI News.
Cash for everyone. The government is giving out 10,000 NT dollars. It's easy to claim. Choose direct deposit, ATM, or post office. Check details at the official website 10,000.gov.tw or 10000.gov.tw or call the free hotline at 1988. Stay alert. Don't trust unknown sources. This advertisement is brought to you by the Ministry of Finance.